What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is A2D Wednesday nights. Sixers, Rockets, live reactions, Eagles, Ravens, preview, and Phillies hot stove. Let's go.
I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. Every Wednesday, we are brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Home of the best stuffed bread, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, meatballs, you name it. Mention A2D Radio, get 10% off your order. As always, Greg Milakovic, Heel Chrome. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, let's go. We got a lot to go over. Phillies, hot stove rumors. There's a lot of circulation. Okay, we'll get into it later on in the show. Eagles Ravens preview. I mean, we'll talk about a flat out dog fight coming up, the slugfest, a heavyweight boxing match. We got one. We got one Sunday afternoon, Sunday early evening. So giddy up there. We'll talk about that throughout the show. Sixers, Rockets, post-game reaction, OT reaction. They sent it to OT, up 3, 10-9 haters, and we'll talk about our poll. We'll get into that after the game. So right now, we're going to give you a little taste of OT. Maybe sneak out a win. Find a way without everybody, because then maybe you answer the poll differently. So I don't want to put the poll out. You get a win. People feel better about themselves. Let's see. Let's see. Or do you put the poll out now and then you tell people, people start changing their mind? You get it done. And you start seeing the real true colors of cats. Martian said, that's my guy, right? I love the guy. 118-86 Rockets, lock it in. I think that was an hour and a half ago. I guess the 86 can't happen. But yeah. So, you stand by it, Martian. Stand by it. Maybe the first show. There it is. See, I gave a little peek. You saw a name in there. You saw a name.
Poo.
You give you a little taste. What are they calling here? Foul? What are they calling here? Foul? Oh my goodness gracious! Don't you tell me
they can't be calling a foul on that.
Where's the foul? He's
I guess
falling
he put his hand
over.
on his hip or on his
When
right
I
ass
dip, you
cheek,
dip,
and he
we dip.
flopped.
They called that a
That was a
foul.
flop and a half. Yeah, well, he flopped after.
What is
We're
going
gonna
on? Listen,
Put
I don't
your
like.
hand up on my hip.
I don't want to talk about it like that, like blame it. But man, this game was totally officiated one-sided. It's weird. Like, I don't understand. Like, Tyrese Maxey gets 0 calls. He's an all-star player. He's in the all-star game last year. There's there's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
Jalen Green, I think, is a sensational player. Sensational young player, too. He gets calls, as he should. He takes it strong to the bucket. He draws contact. And he's a damn good player. Those guys deserve calls. Right? Tyrese Maxey does the same thing, and he gets nothing. The one play, they replayed it. The guy was holding his jersey. You could see it clear as day. So we're all tied up at 111. 111. 4 minutes to go in OT. What are you feeling out there? Sixers find a way? They sneak one out to get what? This will be our 4th win?
Yeah, our 4th win. These are those types of games, though, Tommy, right? That they do, or any team does, right? Like
right from 3. Nope. Sorry.
Yeah, you have 4/5 of your starting lineup right out, or 3/5 of your starting lineup out, and you're basically starting a G League team, right? Like in comparison, right? You know what I mean? And then you find yourself in an overtime game with a chance to win. Yeah, I'm going to say they pulled out. I'm going to say they pulled out because they need to, right? The game at home, you're going to hit the road for a little bit. Game at home. Let's get off on the road trip on a good note.
Yeah, what do you say, Chrome?
Listen, at this point, I'll take any win that we can get. I mean, this is a rough start to the season. And really, at this point, it's beyond the start of the season, right? It's been a rough road. I'll take anything I can get at this point. Like I'm almost at the point already where I'm looking at the progression of individuals and not necessarily what the end game of the season is at.
I agree.
What guys are like? I mean, obviously Jared McCain, who some of us were on from day one and loved the pick. What are we seeing from him? Yabusele, like a guy like him and his fit. I'm trying now to see who, at the very least, is going to progress through this year. But hey, if they can find a way to get together and turn it on, great. These are kind of wins you need. Now you're at a point where you have a chance to win this game. You got to finish it off. They have enough talent. They have, they have Maxey and obviously McCain, who's been really good. There's enough talent on this team that they should be able to scratch a win out of this overtime period. Maybe you weren't expecting to be there, but now you're there. You got to try to close the door on this and get whatever wins you can.
Maxey missed the layup.
And Chrome, you mentioned that, right? And this was the stretch of games that I think they had a chance to do obviously a lot better, potentially than 1 and 2 in the homestand, right? Because we had Brooklyn, Clippers, Houston here to end the homestand, and then we hit the road on Saturday. We got Detroit and Charlotte. I mean, you had a really good chance potentially, at minimum, to go 3 and 2, right, and kind of get some momentum back, even with the likes of Embiid and George out, right? Like, you have enough talent to contend with the bottom half of the NBA with the guys that you still currently have on your roster, and they just haven't been able to get it done as of yet, right? So now if we can squeak away a win here against Houston, we can head into Detroit, head into Charlotte, 2 winnable games even though they are on the road, and see what we can do while biding time until we potentially get Joel back or when Paul George comes back.
Yeah, I'll say they're not winning tonight. I mean, they're down 4, and it's another 7-0 run. And it's been typical of basketball they've been playing throughout this entire start of the season. Is, the off stretches they play really well, but then they'll go on stretches where they're not scoring and they're playing terrible defense. And, here we are. And now we have a shot clock violation. So down 4, minute 37. The magic of this one wore off quick.
Yeah. And Tommy, we talked about that last week, right? We talked about the inability to play defense so far this year, right? Even though we are without 2 of our top scorers, we have to be able to play defense in order to give the guys that are playing a chance to score enough points. And it doesn't seem like that we're able to do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, down 6. This one's a wrap. And listen, forget Joe for a minute. You really need PG and Maxey to really be able to win games, right? You really can't rely on Jared McCain night in, night out as a rookie. It's just the legs, right? And he's young, the legs of it.
Yeah.
You see it tonight. He doesn't have his legs for some reason. Well, not for some reason. I know the reason, right? It's a little bit more of a grind than college is. So, which makes sense. But you're not going to be able to get that production nightly. So you need other guys besides Tyrese Maxey, right? Yabusele's been good. I get it. But, you want him as like your 4th or 5th guy scoring points for you. But, you're not going to get Embiid back right this minute. But the Paul George getting back is really important. Because then they can maybe start winning some games.
Yeah.
They'll be way more competitive on a nightly basis. And I'm not crowning him. I'm just saying you have more of like another closer at the end of games in the OT. That's experience matters. Like that kind of stuff matters. Experience of guys that are used to taking those shots matter.
Yeah.
Or the role players being forced into those shots, right? Role players being forced into those shots consistently isn't ideal. And that's what we've been doing. And any big moments has been role players, that we're have to be like MJ. Right? Like that's not who Caleb Martin is. That's not who some of those other guys are on this roster.
And especially when that guy is paid to do those things, right? Paul George, because of his experience and his veteranship, is paid to be that guy, is to be that scorer in those times where you need it. And when he's not on the floor and he's not available to you, it obviously weighs on the team a lot more than than anybody else being out, right? Like it wouldn't weigh, like Kyle Lowry wouldn't mean anything to this team if he was off the floor, right? But missing Joel and Paul George mean a whole hell of a lot because of how much they're accounted for in the salary and in the expected production.
Well, that's all that matters. It's not about like, oh, you're missing 2 players. You're missing 2 players that are paid the money of like 6, 7,
exactly.
right? So, you spread that out. Now, you lose a lot of production. That's what you're losing. Everything else you have around those guys is role players outside of Maxey, who's getting paid that money too.
Yeah.
You have 3 guys on your roster and they've all missed time, right? They've all missed time. So that doesn't equate for a new roster that's put together to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't, it's just not going to happen. So like Chrome said, I look at it, recently of like, I just want to see the growth of some guys. The guys I know will be here. You're like, Vaselli has a good year. He won't be here because we can't afford him. Right. But, McCain is important. His growth throughout the season, his ups and downs, his responses to bad games. Like, now you're looking for that kind of stuff.
I think too, we're talking about the defensive struggles. Well, I mean, fact of the matter is the way this team was constructed for offensively and defensively is around Joel Embiid, right? And you're missing your biggest catalyst on the defensive side of the basketball, right? So I just don't think this team has it's not equipped enough to produce at a high level. I mean, I listen, I like Tyrese Maxey, but I have major concerns that, like, we'll take this one game out, but overwhelmingly, and I'm going back to last season, the majority of games that Joel Embiid does not play, they lose bad. Like, they lose by double digits in a lot of games. Sure. And that's concerning to me because if he's supposed to be the second star or the next guy stepping up, I need him to make more of an impact. And listen, we watched Allen Iverson carry teams that didn't have half the talent here, and I'm not putting him in that category. But I'm saying now we're on year 2 of him being quite like nationally looked at on the high level. And every game, with the exception of one here and there that Embiid's out, they look like they're not even in the games. That's a problem to me. That's a concern.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors.
I'm a little hesitant to overrate him a little bit, and I'm not saying he's overrated, but I'm not ready to hand the keys over to him like some people are.
No, I still think he's young and he has more growth, which we see year in, year out from him. And I think at times we've seen some of that growth this year in certain moments. But last year, I mean, yeah, when Embiid didn't play, we were really bad. I don't know. I think because a lot of this roster just built so much around them that you just didn't have enough production. That's why you had to go out and get Paul George. You had to go out and get like another guy who can score 25 a night because you need to find it somewhere. Yeah, because you have guys on certain nights look good, right? Like guys, you know how it works. Like Caleb Martin will have a game where he scores 20, sure. But then he'll have 3 or 4 after that where he scores 4 or 5. Yeah. Because that's just the way it works for role players. They're not expected to.
Need a bucket here.
Missed it.
Yeah, Vaselli, another offensive rebound.
What's the call here?
They call foul?
I think so, some sort. Try to see if he goaltended it, but
he might have called a goaltend on that.
It doesn't look like he got it. It looks like he got it right before. Can't tell. It's close.
Yeah, those are tough ones.
Yeah, probably another loss. Guys, Marsh and I see. I mean, it is what it is. We're going to drop to 3-14. So You ask if it's time for the draft. We'll talk about that. Well, yeah, Martian, it does. I mean, it starts with Joel. He hasn't shown he can lead or win at any point in his career. Well, he's shown he can win a lot of games, regular season.
Yeah.
Right? We know that. He can change. Oh, that's goaltending. Yep, that's goaltending. He can change you from being a lottery team to a 50-win team. We know that. Right? But after that, you're correct. Right? Yeah. After that part, you are correct, sir. But you never can doubt that when he's healthy, he's leading you to a top 5 seed minimum, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when he's healthy and on the floor, there's few current that are better. But it's especially this year and for a majority of his career, especially in the biggest moments, it's that part that has been missing and the most frustrating, for Sixers fans. And I think NBA fans too, right? I mean, I think the NBA would do wonders with a guy like Joel winning at some point in his career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this I would not do. Martian says, I would honestly trade Maxey too. He could bring you a boatload. I'm not trying to trade a 24-year-old though.
Yeah, I'm not trading him yet.
If he was like 27 or 28, then you could like, you know what I mean? And we're going to start it over. Then yeah. Right. But like we've talked about 1,000 times, even without Joel, you don't necessarily have to start over.
Yeah.
Right. We'll talk about this in a little bit. But if you walk out next year with a top 5 pick, you're not necessarily starting over because you have an all-star. You have Paul George. You have Jared McCain. At least you have a base of some guys that are like, okay, I got some scoring. Now you need to do other things.
Yeah.
And, so, all right, we got 30 seconds left, 118, 113. We're not fouling for some reason on what we're doing.
And then to go with that, though, Tommy, right? Like to go with that, Caleb Martin signed for a couple of years. Kelly Oubre signed for a couple of years, right? So you do have some semblance of a, like you said, now that top end scores, and then you have some veterans, which we know, throughout the process years and stuff like that, how important those types of players, bench players, guys that extend your pro end, lineup and stuff like that, how important they are to the team and their progress.
Yeah, what a joke. They didn't call goaltending.
It wasn't a goaltend. You could see his finger hit the ball right before it hit the backboard.
Yeah, it was close, I thought. It was close.
They really slowed it up. You could see a point where his one finger you could totally see it nick the ball and then it flick. That was the right call.
We talking flicks?
Flicks.
It was just either way. Yeah, I saw him get it. I saw him get it. I'm just saying it was close.
He got it. Just the tip.
It was just literally like Jared McCain's fingernail polish.
Yeah.
Literally
that might have chipped some polish off for sure.
It's crazy. How snake bitten they are too.
Yeah.
Like early on in some close games. I mean, they've had their share of ass whoopings too.
I feel like this conversation goes back to what we talked about in the beginning of the year, right? Where there's times where I look at this organization and the commitment, and I'm like the commitment I don't doubt. But it's like the whole thing with Embiid coming into the year, right? Where I almost feel like it's like the basketball gods thing, right? Like they had this coming to them. The way they handled everything, how smug and condescending they handled it, including Nick in press conferences when asked about things going, and he still does it. Like it almost feels like this is like the basketball gods biting the hand for kind of, everything that they've had going on. I don't know. It's weird. Like it feels like this was coming.
Yeah, no, it listen, coming in this year felt weird to begin with.
It's just started so odd and goofy that it doesn't shock me. If they won 10 games, it wouldn't shock me at this point.
and they lost tonight 122-115. So that's a wrap.
They're a hard watch, man.
They really are. So let's get into our poll question. We waited long enough. The Sixers should shut down Joel Embiid for the season or indefinitely. Agree or disagree. Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow. I don't know what you do. I honestly don't know what you do. Like, you won't play for the pick? Like, is like, you know what I mean? You want to play for? Is that what you want? Is that what you want to play for? I don't know. I don't know. Part of you thinks you want to. Part of me thinks that this is going to. Like, I need to know more. Right? I think we all do. I need to know more.
It's important to note that their first round pick this year is only top 6 protected.
Yeah, I think it's 7. But 6, 7 doesn't matter. That's semantics.
Potato.
Yeah. But either way, yeah. So to your point, Chrome, if like George comes back and you're playing like a little bit too good, then you run into the problem. You're not going to get up there. So it's a little catch-22-ish.
You almost feel like you got to make that decision that early.
I don't know if I don't know if I shut him down. I don't know. Like, I'll let you guys answer first. I want to think about this one a little bit more.
I'm not shutting anybody down. Listen, I don't know what the state of his leg or his knee is. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm shutting anybody down at any point or I'm doing anything indefinitely. I think that's very Philadelphia fan reactionary to go that route right away. But I definitely have my concerns. I have my concerns about everything. It's not just him. The whole organization, I got a lot that I'm concerned about. So I don't know whether you shut him down or not, if that makes anything better. Like, now I feel like we're going beyond Joel Embiid. Like, there's a lot of issues that I think need to be ironed out here. Has Josh Harris taken his eye off the ball with the purchase of the Washington Commanders and everything going on with that team? I never doubt his willingness to put money into the team, obviously, right? But how much of his attention, he's supposed to be kind of the liaison, the head, kind of the main guy in the ownership group, and I don't know how much he's attentive to everything. It is Morey running the show at this point, right? Is it one of those the cat's away, the mice play type of deals? I don't know, because it shouldn't be how it is right now. But it started super weird. It has continued to be super weird. It's getting even weirder with team meetings. As 100% is Reggie Jackson, who's probably the guy who spoke, who sung like a canary on that whole thing. And you know what?
I'm going Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon gets playing time. I wouldn't even blame Reggie Jackson, by the way, who I don't understand why he can't sniff the court. I wouldn't even blame him if he did at this point. Like, it's just a very bizarre situation. There's a lot, obviously, over the years that we didn't know about. And I don't know. So, no, I'm not shutting him down for the year unless the injury dictates doing that. And the other part, the last factor before you dive in here, Greg, I can't take any more time than we've already lost off of Joel Embiid's prime. So I can't, to me, we're past the point of making like precautionary long-term decisions. To me, it's one thing to say he's not going to play back-to-backs as opposed to we're just washing away this whole year. And we're going to wait until he's, 31 or 32 next year. I think that's not going to solve anything.
Greg, I got it too before you go too, because I think we got to look at it a bunch of ways. One, the injury right now is dictating him being shut down, and we don't have to say about it. So we're already getting it. We've got it the whole part of the year. It started as no back-to-backs, and now it's when he plays, it flares up.
At this point, it's indefinitely, basically. It feels that way.
Yeah. So it's like, you know what? Like, if we're going to be this bad and there's no hope, Like if he doesn't come back like by the next game, and we can't start like stringing some wins together, then you owe it. You almost owe it to your franchise and him to say, dude, go get right, go get it right, and then go get hopefully land in that top 5, right? Go land in the top 5 of the lottery. Go get another playmaker, another guy who can grow with your young backcourt, and start replenishing the system. Because you're like I said, you're in a tough spot. Like, I think you could be really good with Maxey and George. I just think you really lack the size, as you can see with the way this roster is constructed without Joel Embiid. You just lack major size.
Yeah,
it just
100%.
seems like. So like I don't know. That's why I said like I didn't know about it, but I would shut him down if it's going to be like this. If he can be healthy and he can play and play enough the rest of this year, then I'm with Chrome. No, I'm not. I'm not shutting down the tank. I'm only shutting down the tank. I'm not even shutting down the tank. Like if we win, we win. But I'm only shutting them down if it's like, dude, if it's not going to get better, what are we doing? And I agree with you, Chrome, too. I'm not trying to waste years on his career. He's doing that on his own to us now, though. Sadly. Yeah. But I agree with you. Like, I'm tired of wasting the prime years. Because at this point, you're so bad that, like, okay, even if he's healthy after Christmas, what does that do?
Yeah, like
you got to go like 24. You got to go like a 24-game winning streak.
Yeah, I just feel like, what are we, 16, 17 games? And I can't make a decision on the rest of the season 16 or 17 games in unless I know medically. Now, if we're talking 35, 40 games, we're getting to mid-season and we're starting to look at this, maybe a little bit after Christmas or, mid-January, then I'm starting to have the conversation on, well, honestly, at that point, you're probably done anyway if it continues this way. But then I'm having the conversation on, does this even make sense to go through this aggravation?
Yeah, if they don't get a win here in the next week or so.
But you got to remember,
it's over before Christmas.
You got to remember too, we can't just shut a guy down. Like medically, they have to have it medically proven that
he's medically not making games right now.
I understand that, but you can't make it.
So there's your medical reason.
Well, that's what they would do. They have that all in their chamber here. They have the medical, even if it's not medical, to say, you know what? Because we get it now. This injury is not going to go away unless there's a surgery that takes place that could take a while.
I understand what you're saying. If there's a surgery that they can do that, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, there's a 1% chance that he can get on the court. The league is not letting them take Joel Embiid down for the rest of the year. There's no way. There's a reason they investigated them to start the year. They're not taking the superstars off the court.
Oh no!
And the Sixers lost the benefit of the doubt at this point with the league.
But yet he's still out, right? So I hear you, but he's still out.
But I'm saying they'd have to prove, and I don't like the fact that
they got 10 years. They got 10 years.
I know, but he's out there saying I might be able to play. Like when he does all that, there's no reason to believe that it's an injury to shut him down for the year.
But this last issue starts that process.
If he has a surgery,
when you come back, real quick, when you come back and you're playing, and every time you play, it starts to swell more and more and more. That's a major issue,
right? But if he has a surgery that takes that out of the equation,
I don't have an MD. I don't have an MD.
Right?
You know what I mean? Holiday Inn Express.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you how the league runs. They are not in the business. They are cracking down on superstars sitting out on games. And the excuse
Kawhi's been out for 4 years.
Well, I mean, Kawhi is literally the epitome of the walking injury. But
no, I get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing.
No, I hear you.
I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just saying that, like, because of this situation with this injury, it seems like they have the firepower, and like, say, 15 games from now, 20 games from now, halfway through the year, to say, because that's what we're creeping up on soon.
Very much
right?
So, yep.
So they're going to have the leverage if he's not playing enough. And every time he plays, it's more and more swelling. Then listen, they got a major problem. The league can crack down all they want because he's going to have to get a major surgery here, and that's what we're going to. So like, I wouldn't maybe shut him down because I'm trying to deal him, but that's different reasons. Like medically, I don't know. This whole thing's a mess.
Yeah, and to that, I absolutely agree. And I hear what you guys all saying, and you're not wrong. I more or less just shut them down just from the distraction standpoint, right? We have a lot of distractions on this team as well. Hey, Joel, you're done till Christmas, right? You're done till the new year. Give them 4 weeks, 6 weeks of not having to come into the locker room and answer questions about Joel Embiid's health, right? Nick Nurse included, right? Nick Nurse looks like he's been through 12 wars in the last 3 weeks. Like he's aged. Yeah, he's like aged, worse than whatever. But he's beaten up over it, right? Having to answer questions all the time, having to be tight-lipped over all the time about what he can say and what he can't say. If the injury is that to where it's always swelling and always this, then shut him down for 6 weeks and reevaluate, and then turn it back around and see what's going on, right? If he comes back in the new year, it might not matter for the team, but, we might be pushed, Chrome, to your point, right? At some point, we might be pushed if there is no surgery, if we're just trying to say, hey, let's rest to see if the swelling goes down. But I am absolutely on board for shutting him down. I'm always going to be a get the highest draft pick you can type of cat, but this is more or less for the distraction that he has become with his status, right? This game time status every night is exhausting. I'm sure it's exhausting for us fans, right? Waking up, oh, here you go, Joel's out again, shocker. And I'm sure it's even more exhausting for those players and the organization having to answer all those questions.
No, listen, this is a bad situation.
This organization is a dumpster fire right now. All right? It's a complete dumpster fire. There is no way around it. As far as Joel goes, it is clear he's not healthy. It is clear he has no interest in getting back on that court anytime soon. And if he plays by, say, February, it'll be a miracle. All right? This dude, look, this team has lottery written all over it. They fell to 3-14. They dropped another one tonight. They're 3-14. They're, 11 games under 500 and miles and miles away from the elite teams in the Eastern Conference, such as the Celtics or Cavaliers. Look, even if this team were to have even if they were to have a miracle second half of the season, so to speak, that'll just barely get them into the playoffs. And I don't know. I'd say let's see where we're at around New Year's. But unless he has gotten much better and the swelling has completely gone away, then I think you shut him down for the rest of the season. But I think you can wait until the new year to make that call.
Yeah,
but either way, let's face it, guys. Best case scenario, this team sneaks into the playoffs.
Well, the next month and a half dictate that,
right?
Like, because if he plays, if him and Paul George play, we're automatically better.
Oh, no question.
Like, we're not going to lose to Detroit. We wouldn't lose to Detroit.
Right.
We probably don't lose tonight. There's games we don't lose, and then there's games that teams are just better than, right? Of course, but we would win more games than we don't. That's the crazy part. But it's like, when are you going to get these guys back? Like, is PG going to be back next game? Like, because you need him back. You need him back soon, and then you got to wrap him up again. So this has become a nightmare. It's what it's become.
I mean, do we still have a zoologist running the medical team over there? I mean, well, what the hell's going on? I mean, no disrespect. I have a damn good doctor, but I'll put it to you this way. My doctor could probably do a better job at managing the health of this ball club than whatever clown they currently have employed on the Sixers medical staff. I mean, this is a joke. It's a joke from top to bottom. And as far as Josh Harris, I mean, all he cares about is his mediocre Washington Commanders that'll probably choke their way right out of playoff contention. Don't worry, give it a few weeks. Uh-oh.
Titans.
Uh-oh, did I wake up the dogs? Did I wake up the dogs?
Who let the dogs out?
Oh.
I will only slightly agree on you. I think when fully healthy, we're head and shoulders better than the Cavs. But that's just a slight disagreement because everything else you were right on.
I mean, it's a dumpster fire, guys.
No, they are bad. They are bad.
Why are we talking about this team again? I mean,
because they had a game tonight.
I hear you.
They had a game tonight.
Right, and they're gonna have a game in March when we're 30 games out of a playoff spot. I mean, look, I hope the Sixers can show some kind of ray of sunshine before the season's out here. But let's face it, it's going to be a tall mountain to climb. I mean,
for sure.
They're going to have to climb Mount Everest 20 times over to have a shot to get back into playoff contention. And I don't know where to begin. I mean, I don't know if Embiid's ever going to be healthy again, or at least healthy enough to play consistently and be able to play at a high level night in and night out. And that's what you're going to need for this team to truly be a championship contender. But this team is miles and miles and miles away from that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're 17 games in, but as of right now, they're only 4 games out of that final play-in game spot, right? So if you prorate that over the entire year,
so you're saying
Joel Embiid coming back and being healthy allows you to get in, and then I understand when you say, oh, then we're going to be limping once we get into playoffs, or we're just going to sneak in. But when we look at this roster, when healthy or when actually intact, we all sat here and thought that this was a championship caliber roster.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So if we are limping in, but we get limping in with a healthy Joel Embiid at that time, then I'm down, right? We thought that last year.
Right. If you have a healthy George, a healthy Embiid, and everybody's clicking on all cylinders, of course. And I mean, at the very least, if they find a way to make it out of the play-in round, I probably wouldn't want, maybe I'd be a little nervous if I was the Cavs or the Celtics waiting for the Sixers, and that's not your typical rollover first round matchup. But I don't know. I think we're at this point we're miles away from that, and I hope.
I completely agree with you there, but.
We just got to win a basketball game.
I think you have to factor into at what point does Joel get back, if he does. And, as good as this roster should be and could be, there has to be time for this team to build a familiarity. And that has to happen with Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey all in the lineup.
Sure.
And I'm concerned that even if all 3 guys were to get healthy, how long that process to get healthy is going to take, and is there going to be enough time? I think this team could still make the playoffs. I'm not camping. I'm not packing up my tent and going home as far as playoffs go. I'm just not. I've tapered what my expectations are for the remainder of this, or at least for the first half of this year. For the foreseeable future.
But if
I'm not watching for wins. I'm watching, I said it earlier, I'm not watching for wins. Right. At this point, at least early on, the first, say, 25 to 30 games, because I feel like that's how long until we're going to have an idea on what this team's going to look like the rest of the year. I'm seeing how guys are progressing like a McCain or somebody like that. But I don't think we should be, and there are people that are doing it. I don't think people should be, calling it a day and packing up and going home. I think that's crazy.
Well, we're not ready to pack the car and head out and leave the campsite yet. But, if out of a 4-day trip, we're into day 2 and the rain hasn't stopped yet, we may be ready to try to find a hotel. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, Chrome, right? You would definitely prefer, and then going back to the poll question, right? You would necessarily be on the degree side or the disagree side, right? If you want him back sooner, because in theory, though, when you look back at the first month, first
God, that
17,
was awesome.
17, 18 games, this was a super easy part of their schedule. This was a super easy part of their schedule. So to be 3-14 when we faced Charlotte 3 times, or like the Pistons 3 times, right? Like those should be 6 wins right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
And so we need Joel back to build that, to your point, to build that camaraderie, to build that cohesiveness with these guys, because as we all know, with the roster that we built, a lot of these people are brand new. Their first years with us, and that does take time. You're absolutely right.
Hey, keep the comments coming. I love it. Greg, should we sign Caitlin Clark, says Mr. Malmos?
Get a lot of conversation, that's for sure.
I mean, she could shoot from the logo. I mean,
Quick shout out to Dad Slayer. Thank you for the super chat. Being positive, it only takes a few weeks to turn your season around. Look at the Bucks, who are 5th in the East currently and are starting as bad as we did.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I mentioned a minute ago, right? In theory, you're only 4 games out of that last spot of the playoffs. So you look at the stretch that we just had. If you go 4-1 in that stretch, you're now not the second worst team in the NBA, right? You're the 8th worst team in the NBA, right? But you're up there near 7, 8, 10 wins, which is kind of a little jolt back to a little bit of respectability throughout. But they are where they are, and they have the Pistons and the Hornets coming up. So Saturday Pistons, and then what is Saturday Pistons, Tuesday Charlotte, both on the road.
Yeah, but Greg, we said 1,000 times they're not good.
Right.
Like they're not good without those 2 guys.
No, I agree with you.
Unless one of those 2 guys is on the court with Maxey, we're not going to be any good. And unlike the Bucks, we don't have guys playing. So, they started bad, but they picked it up.
Yeah.
They actually had guys playing. It's got off to a slow start. Like our best player and one of the best players in the league isn't playing. Like he takes you from being a lottery team to a top 5 team every year if he's healthy.
Yep.
It's not even up for debate. What happens after that has a lot of debate to it. But when it comes to that, there's no debating it. So this is where we're at. And then, you would say, well, if I started the year with just Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, would I be a lottery team? No, they would not. But the problem is neither one of those guys has played consistently.
Yeah.
So this is why you're 3-14. This isn't like some coincidence. This isn't on Nick Nurse. This isn't on the coaching staff. This isn't on any of that stuff. This isn't on Daryl Morey. This isn't on anybody but the 3 guys who dictate if they play or not because of the injuries they have. It's not on anybody else at this point. Like you could say everybody knows Joe gets hurt. So that's a different conversation. Like Joe should have got traded last summer. But they didn't want to do it. So that's okay. Here you are.
The dysfunction, though, is organizational. Like
somebody, I don't look at that.
Somebody commented, and they're right. Like Daryl Morey doesn't speak enough, and Nick has not been prepared in quite a few of these press conferences.
How many goddamn GMs around the league? How many GMs around the league are talking in season?
Well, I mean, how many organizations are in a situation like this? But even so, I'm fine with that, right? I do think he should be speaking up a little bit when you're trotting your head coach out there every other day, and he looks like a deer in headlights, like he doesn't know what to say, and he gets all pissy because he doesn't know what to say. It's very clear he's not prepared by the organization on how to handle those situations. That is Daryl Morey's responsibility to make sure when your head coach is in front of the media, he is prepared to handle those questions, because those questions are coming. And if they're not preparing him to handle those in a lot better way than he has, that is on Daryl Morey. And that's the kind of stuff that trickles down in the organization. It's either an arrogance to feel like it doesn't matter because you shouldn't have to address it, or it's a negligence, or you're kidding yourself that you are not preparing the people who do have to get in front of the media to speak.
Fair. How about this? How about this little agree to disagree on that? How about it's that Joel Embiid, which we found out, is a goddamn diva. Joel Embiid, from what we found out, has the biggest ego in the room. Joel Embiid, from what we found out, is late to stuff, etc. So this is the one thing that organizationally, the thing I can put on him is they gave him an extension. Okay? That's the one thing I can put on him. But
another one.
How he goes about it and how he relays his information medically too, because I feel like he's always had a bad time communicating his medical situation too, because it's always been like a fucking, you need the goddamn CIA to jump in. Like, yeah, right. Where's Jimmy Hoffa's body? Where's his body just to find out about a goddamn foot? I mean, knock it off. This is some top secret shit. It's an injury on a player. Can we just be transparent? Like, if we know it's a knee, you're not saving a guy.
This team hasn't been transparent in years, Tom.
That's where I'll agree with Crow.
Come on.
That's their issue there.
I think that
Joe's I lost a lot of respect for Joel Embiid. That's all I'm saying.
Same here. He's not on time and he's not prepared. Those are two things that take no talent. None. He's not on time and not prepared. So why the fuck are we paying this guy $50 million a year? Get out of here.
I think it's important to notate for the chat so they're clear. Nobody is absolving Joel Embiid. It's just everybody is going to beat the dead horse on Joel Embiid. he's a major problem, but there's other organizational problems as well.
You knew I was close on that. That's where I was going with Joel for a second.
Like, if I were Nick Nurse, I'd know exactly what I would say in front of the media. And then I'd be fired immediately. But
Yeah. Some of that, they're telling them not to say anything. And then you're trying to get a guy to lie. So you prepare a guy to lie is never easy. And that's when a guy will start getting pissed off. But listen, I mean, Joe's a pussy too. Or selfish. I think he's more selfish than anything else right now. Because what we've witnessed is you could have got the proper surgery. Could have got the proper surgery.
What, did he go to Dr. Nick from The Simpsons?
I don't understand. I think anytime you're like, I got a bad knee, right? I think anytime you're talking about a bad knee, you're just playing with fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And until you really get it taken care of, it's always going to be an issue. And the longer you wait, I just feel like the worse it gets. I don't know how that's ideal. You know, I thought they did repair stuff, but it just seems like this is, he's a chronic injury.
Yeah.
He's a chronic injury. He's got a chronic pussy injury all the time.
And what makes it even more mind-boggling is hearing them say
that's for you, Martian. Sorry. That's for you.
Hearing them say that they've reached out to a numerous amount of doctors before giving the extension, and then they still gave him the extension.
I agree with this, Brian, too. I agree with this, brother. Thanks for a super chat. This shows me about your character. This is character talk. Yeah. Character talk night on A2 Day. What are you thankful for? I'm not thankful for the big man. I'm not thankful for the process, because you can't be out there on the bench with your teammates. You're too good to be out on the bench with your teammates to show support. I don't know. I find that extremely disrespectful. I just do. I really do. You can walk. You know what I mean? It ain't like you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
If you're in a wheelchair, I ain't gonna come at you, babe. But you ain't in no damn wheelchair. You can walk onto the court, sit on the damn bench, and be there for your guys. So it does say a lot about what's wrong with this organization because your leader isn't a leader. Like I said, for the first time in my career, I would trade Joel Embiid last summer. And everybody on with me knows that that's my son. I've had enough. I've had enough. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, man.
Well, sometimes
Camel's dead.
sometimes the son has to move
Paralyzed.
away from home to grow up a little bit. You kick the son out of the house, and then maybe he flourishes a little.
Oh, I'm sure he'll win a championship somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. I
He'll
mean,
play 74 games regular season.
Barkley almost did in '93 before falling short against the Bulls.
Yeah, I had that quote unquote fear of Ben Simmons being that guy, of going somewhere else and winning, but obviously we know that that's never going to be the case, right?
Cute.
But Joel is 100% that guy, right? Joel goes somewhere else and 100% wins something somewhere else.
Careful, Martian. Careful, babe. You know what I mean? No, I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'm going to tell it how it is. When I have enough of a guy, I have enough of a guy. We all do. We all reach our points. And you hope not to. You really hope not to. Like, there's a lot of guys in this city I never turned on because their production and their want to never changed.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless if they won it all or didn't. So, I feel bad for the guy never being healthy, for sure. That takes a toll on you mentally. I'm sure that takes a toll on what kind of teammate you are, because those reports of being a bad teammate were never there before, right? It was never something that came up. You would have heard it by somebody. Enough guys came in and out of here. You would have heard somebody say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enough cats in and out. I think this over time, not making an excuse for the guy, just saying common sense mentally, right? It just starts to weigh on you.
Yeah. And enough guys that have come and gone love to talk, right? Yeah. And had the opportunity to talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, no one's shy, when you look at some of these guys that have been in and out of here, to your point, right? So I do think part of that is a bit overblown, but it can't be ignored anymore.
Well, this organization,
right? It can't be ignored.
Guys. This organization, doesn't matter who drafted them, but organizationally over the years, we drafted two guys that when they came into this organization were on the IR, essentially, okay, for a year. So we created where we're at right now because we were okay with drafting bigger guys with lower extremity injuries. Not the smartest thing. So we did that. And then what else we did through the years? We never had any consistency. We never could find, like in recent years, we never found, the right guy. It just was, we were all in. But in the NBA, you can't be all in for a year. You need to be all in for 2 or 3 with guys. Yeah. Right? And now we finally did that with 3 guys, right? Now we're like, okay, we're going to do it now. Now we're going to do it. Here we are.
We're in.
Hi.
No,
and
you're not.
It's too late because, our 2 best players, this is who they are. This is who they are. So unless you get Maxey going for 50 a night, this is Cooper Flag all day. If it's who you want, right? It doesn't matter to me who we get because I trust in their draft process. If you can draft at 15, you can draft in the top 5. All right. So I know they're going to get a player that's going to impact, and they need size with 2 smaller guards.
Yeah.
Right. They need size, of course. So, I can't believe I'm saying this, right? 3-14. But that's where I'm leaning more towards is like, you know what? Just lose then. Just lose. Because we know the Eagles are going to win some games. So let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
You know what I mean? Let's talk about them.
That's right. You're 9-2, first place Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go.
Giddy up. Feels good, doesn't it? Doesn't it? And what do we say?
Yes, it does.
We yelled and screamed on Wednesday, Sunday, didn't matter what night. Like, run the damn ball because you're so explosive. Jeffrey, you can get the best of both worlds. Remember we told him? We said, Jeffrey, don't be with Saquon, it's different levels with this crap. Go enjoy them. Go ride the pony and let Jalen run too. Let him run. And both have been running. And we're, us and the Ravens, best two running football teams in the NFL. And we're going to match up Sunday at 4:25 down in Baltimore. And it's a street fight. This is the kind of game you want to be in. And before we get into everything else, our defense has been, I don't care what happens on Sunday per se, because our defense has been flat out elite, flat out elite. And I'm excited to say that my defense is the Philadelphia Eagles again. I'm excited to say that again because they fly around the football. They tackle well. They make big plays, right? They take the football away. They've been doing all those things, all those little things really well. So, before we get into anything else, just get into your excitement level. And Saquon Barkley's the MVP of the National Football League. And if he's not, I said it the other night, I'll say it again, stop watching. Stop watching. Then take away the award. Stop watching. Do something. Because then we're all not watching the same damn sport.
Yeah.
You take them off this football team, we ain't 9-2. I mean, you can
or
say we're 10-1. You can say we're 10-1.
The quarterback room, like the quarterback award. Right?
He dropped the ball. Maybe we're 10-1. Maybe we're 10-1 without him. I don't know. But we talked about the other night.
That's why he's not MVP.
Listen, you take 100 off of what he rushes for, right? That's where a normal back would be the other night, which is a good night. We go from a good rushing team to arguably like one of the best you'll ever see.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's amazing.
Well, a normal back or just a regular back is only breaking 170-yarder.
Yeah.
Right? He's not hitting that second. He's not hitting that second money shot.
Well, one regular back ain't hitting 70.
Yeah.
That's the difference. The difference is you put the game changer back there. You put a difference maker. Like, we've been missing wide receivers, and it's like we haven't. Outside of Tampa, we haven't felt the ill effects of that.
I mean,
right? No Devontae Smith on the road.
AJ's,
it's like it didn't matter.
AJ's got what, 777 yards on 35 catches?
Yeah.
Like, that's absurd.
Ridiculous.
That's absurd. The amount of catches or the lack of catches he has for damn near where he is yards wise.
It's been all big plays somehow too.
Yeah.
Brian, I disagree to a point. I think when he doesn't turn the football over, he's absolutely a difference maker because that impacts the game. And I think he's a winner. I said that from day one about him. There ain't no running from that. He's a winner when he doesn't turn the football over like a lot of quarterbacks because he'll make enough big plays. And when you allow him to be a playmaker and not your prototypical quarterback where you want him throwing 30, 35 times a night and you let him throw 20, 25, and you have the rushing attack and you allow him to run, this is the result you will get year in, year out with Jalen Hurts. You will be one of the top 4 to 6 teams in the league. Year in, year out. Even if it's not Saquon, even if it's a really good back, you're still 7-4 or whatever, right? Makes sense? You're still a good team.
Yeah. And I had this argument with the guys on Monday night on Eagles Talk is that, they threw out there that Kenny Pickett could have won this game. Jalen Hurts was excellent on Monday night.
That's a moral.
Jalen Hurts.
Sorry. Can I go off on that? Because that's the most ridiculous comment of all time. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You forget the dime piece to AJ. You forget some other really good throws he had. You forget him making plays in the pocket. You forget him not turning the football over. You're a Kenny Pickett turnover away from that game shifting.
But it changes.
So shut your mouth.
Yeah, and it changes the whole point and the whole defensive mindset for the Rams because they don't have to account for Jalen's feet. They don't have to account for the plays outside of the pocket, even though he's been really good inside the pocket as well. Jalen missed one. Jalen was excellent Sunday night. He missed one throw, which because the refereeing was absolutely horrible, wouldn't have counted anyway, even if he hit it, right? But he was excellent, and you can't discredit you can't discredit what he does with his feet, whether it's scrambling, whether it's just rolling a pocket, and making plays outside the pocket because he is, as you said, a playmaker, right?
Yeah,
he makes plays, and that is dynamic, which doesn't allow the defense to key in on Saquon Barkley. He doesn't get 100 yards if Kenny Pickett is playing quarterback.
No, and that's
before. Yep.
That's the other thing too, right? So we haven't seen the turnovers since the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think he has maybe 2 or 3, but and 1 or 2 of them you can not argue, weren't his fault, right? So he's limited the turnovers, and honestly, even his decision making with his feet when to take off has been so much better. He's getting the extra, and he looks healthy, guys. I really believe this. Like, if you watched last season, he was never the same player after that Miami game. He had that one scramble and he came up limp, going out of bounds. He was never the same runner after that. And this season, he has looked exceedingly better. He's getting that extra yard to get past the pylons, which we've seen a number of times this year to get past that first down marker.
He'll lower his shoulder with no problem, Kerm. To your point, he's had a lot of big runs. It's not even about how many runs he's had. He's had a lot of big runs in big spots. And we're not paying him.
He's not going to run for 30 yards, but when he's getting
Josh, we're not
8-10 a clip, I mean, it's pretty damn good.
No, you're right. And Josh, we're not paying him, Josh. Listen, I'm the biggest advocate. We pay guys, we paid him too early, and you could wait on stuff, and you didn't have to rush it, and A, B, C, and D. And I'm not telling you he's elite. I'll tell you he's an elite winner. Now, the skill set of like what you look for as a pocket QB, he's not, right? Nobody's debating that. And if you do, I think you're a little homerish then, right? But is he a playmaker? Can he throw the football well enough? Does he have certain throws in his playbook that he's money with? Yes. And is there other things he struggles with? Absolutely. Right? He's still a work in progress when you talk about total going through his progressions. But is he a playmaker and a winner? Yes, he's always been. And that hasn't changed. And listen, I hate to say game managed because that's not what he's doing. But Saquon, like Greg said, doesn't have a 70 piece sometimes if you don't have the fear of Jalen keeping it. Mm-hmm. We said it with DeAndre Swift last year, and they didn't run the RPO enough. They didn't allow linebackers to freeze. Go ahead, Crum. That's all I got.
I want to put something into context here when we're bringing up money. Okay, Jalen Hurts is now the 9th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Believe it or not, it seems like we just gave him the extension.
He's worth that.
He was the number 1. At number 9 now in the league, he is
fair. Great point.
Adequately paid, if not, maybe a little bit underpaid compared to what some of these guys.
That's a home run statement.
Jordan Love's turnovers right now is
1 week
astronomical, and Jordan Love is the 3rd highest paid player in the league. Dak, we know what his situation is, number 1. Trevor Lawrence is number 4. Tua, when he's healthy, he works for them, so I don't knock that, but he's never healthy. No. Jared Goff has been great. Herbert's had a good year. Lamar, and then him. He is the 9th highest paid quarterback in the league, guys. I don't want to hear about what he's paid at this point because it's irrelevant. It's the same thing as like when they paid Bryce Harper. Everybody's like, oh, my God. Now you got guys making $600 million contracts.
Yeah,
we knew
now Bryce wants more. Bryce wants more 2 years later.
Because he's an unbelievable deal.
No. And you're right. I don't care about the money anymore, Chrome. And that's a great point. Spit the facts on people because, what does he do, too? Do you think, 1, he's better than some quarterbacks named? And 2, there's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the league. So being nine's like a steal in a way at this point.
Let me ask you a question. I'll read the list again in order. Yes or no, would you take Jalen Hurts over this quarterback? So this is 1 to 8. Dak Prescott.
No.
I'm saying say yes if you would take Jalen over them. Dak Prescott.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow?
No.
No.
Jordan Love?
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh.
Tommy's debating.
Jordan, you think about Jordan?
And I get it. It is a debate.
There's a
There's
conversation
no-
to be had.
I mean, there's no question, though, to your point, Crum, that Jalen is playing at minimum like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now.
I mean, I think he's compared to the guys. There's
I'll
half
take
of these
Jalen.
guys on the
And you could even say top 5.
I'll take
Trevor-
Jalen over him for right now.
and you're taking him over Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even need to ask you that. Tua, I imagine you're probably taking him over Tua.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the health, if anything, for the health reasons.
Health mainly, yeah.
Jared Goff, there's a conversation to be had.
I like
But
Goff.
Jared Goff, I
Taking
like
him.
Goff, but he also has a lot of he has probably the best running back 1-2. He's got Amon-Ra St. He's got Sam. I mean, he's got a lot of talent on that team as well.
Yeah. And he threw 5 picks 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I like Jared. I'll probably take
he-
Jalen right now. Age factors, stuff like that.
Sure.
Give me Jalen.
Justin Herbert.
I'll take Herbert over Jalen.
Okay.
Herbie.
So that's 2. And you take Lamar. So 8
Yeah, I'll take
guys paid
Lamar.
higher than him. 3 of those guys you take over him.
Yeah.
I just want to put some context in this. We're paying the quarterback this and that to not turn the ball over, to do this. Like
Yeah.
they gave
But,
him the deal they gave him, but look at all the I know we said we should wait, but then we saw some of these contracts that came out after, and it's like maybe they were smart to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
Because I can't even imagine after
Let's go.
They win an OT?
Flyers winning an OT, baby.
Who
Let's
was it?
go. I didn't see it. I caught it late. I got to check it. Nashville fan shaking his head. That's fantastic.
Well,
I don't know
Coots.
I don't know how he even scored that.
Somebody asked me where's Patrick Mahomes is, let me see, 10,
He
11,
put it in
12.
the net.
Patrick Mahomes is the 13th highest paid quarterback in the league. The other 3 in between Jalen and Patrick Mahomes are Kyler Murray, who Jalen obviously beat out in contract, Deshaun Watson, and Kirk Cousins.
Oh, what a goal.
Josh Allen is after Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I'll take Josh Allen over Jalen.
And then Matt Stafford, then Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr.
Stinks.
I mean, they're not making a ton of money. Those guys are making like $100 million.
But in reality, though, regardless of who the quarterback is and what they're paying, and part of what you're paying him is to not turn the football over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that is part of their job.
Like, listen, if Jordan Love doesn't turn the football over like he was right now, I'm taking him over Jalen.
He sails over Jalen
Because he throws the football like you ever hear free
He's
and
like-
easy?
He has a lot of
the words free and easy, that phrase, free and easy.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of Brett Favre in him.
Yep.
He's slinging it right now.
Troy Aikman, D Slayer with a $10 super chat. We love you, brother. Appreciate you. He says, do you think a good comp for Jalen to be in the future is Troy Aikman? Not the high-level elite guys, far Montana Elway of his era, but a winner who just had great talent around them like Emmett and Michael. It's a good comp. Like, they're not the same player, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But if you're comparing the comp, that's fair. And Troy Aikman's a Hall of Famer.
I got to
Right, by the way, Troy Aikman's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And he didn't just game manage, he swung it around. But Jalen doesn't just game manage either.
Right.
Like, I don't consider Jalen a game manager because he can make the big play. Like, game managers don't get the explosive plays. They're not getting the 25-yard chunk plays. That's not game managing. Like, people used to call Russell Wilson a game manager. He'll throw a ball 70 yards in the air for a touchdown. Like, that's not really game managing, guys. Game managing, dink and dunking to me. Right? Do you guys agree with that? Like, when you can be explosive down the field, like it's the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s.
Tom Brady.
If you want to make the comp.
Tom Brady, 7-yard you to death. Boop. Boop.
Yep.
All the way down the field.
And when he finally got guys, he started unloading on you deep.
Yeah.
If I was to give a comp,
Oh, yeah, as soon as he got Randy Moss back in the day.
When he got good tight ends, he started getting chunk plays. Right. It's just at the beginning, remember, he had all the little white guys running around.
Yeah.
He had 14 slot receivers on the roster.
if I'm giving comp,
Starting
honestly,
whites.
if I'm giving comp in terms of like talent on the team and style of play of how he played, I think Steve Young is more of a realistic kind of a comparison in terms of he utilized his legs, he extended plays. He had a lot of really great players on those 49ers
Yeah, I feel like he
teams.
ran for way more yards though, right? Like, wasn't he rushing for like 1,000 yards a year? At times?
Steve Young ran the ball a lot.
I feel like he did, right?
He was ahead of his time. Like, can
He
you
was,
imagine
he
him
was.
now?
Yeah.
Especially
He
because
was.
if I remember
He would
correctly,
lower shoulders too. He wasn't shy either.
well, concussions are what ended his
Yeah.
career. So you
Yeah.
imagine now with today's league rules, what Steve Young would have been like in today's NFL.
Oh, a lot of guys think like that,
Holy
right?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like
Michael Vick. I mean, there's a
Jalen
lot of guys.
reminds me a little bit. It's weird. Jalen doesn't have a comp. Like, I don't have a comp for Jalen Hurts. Like, I can't think of a guy that I comp because he's not electric.
Woogie, 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 woogie.
Testing. Oh my god. He's not electric like Lamar or other guys like that, like Vic. He's more like he's not even as like he's more of a Donovan comp. Right? He's a Donovan comp, but
Yeah.
Donovan would shake guys out their shoes more though. Like he doesn't have that. Like Jalen's athletic, he can run, but he's not like the Lamar shake out your shoes, Vic, stop, cut on a dime type, right? But he can. You know what I mean? It just doesn't show. It's not as flashy. That's sort of Donovan. It's sort of Donovan. History repeats itself, gentlemen, in ways, right? We talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't. I don't know how many times we've talked about that. Sorry. I mean, maybe we have. I don't know. I just threw that out there. But you get where I'm going with it. His comp to me is like Donovan.
Yeah, it's very close for sure.
I mean, it's like, who else? Give me another comp to Jalen Hurts that you can think of. That's a good one. But McNair was gigantic.
I will tell you, Jalen
There's a good one.
McNair was
rushes
like 6'4", though.
Yeah, he's a good one. Jalen rushes for a lot more yards than what Steve Young did, by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Young at his time was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I felt like he was rushing for 2K back then.
He was. I mean, he had a couple seasons. He was running for like 500-600, but
It did feel like he rushed a lot.
Yeah. 500-600 back then. So rushing for 2K now. 2K now. Like, that guy ran all the time. He was running all over the place.
Jalen's got 2 years over 700 yards rushing. 1 year almost 800.
It's crazy because it's not electric, but it works.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny. He has enough speed. He has enough power. It's like the overworker, the overachiever. It's almost like he's the overachiever because he works so hard that he gets his results. Right. Yeah. It's the perfect example of Philadelphia. It's the hard worker. It's the underdog. It's the grinder. I mean,
unlike Joe.
Saying this.
Yeah, unlike
Joel. Noah.
Huh?
Think about who's saying it's about Jalen too. Like that's what he is. When you really try to break him down, that's who he is. He's the underdog story. He's the Rocky. He's the late pick. He's overlooked.
I'm ready to run them steps. Let's go.
And all he does is win games.
Yeah.
All he does is win games.
And unlike Joel, he's on time and always prepared.
Well, he has leadership. He has good leadership capabilities. I mean, he probably, like most guys younger, has things to work on. But I think guys love him. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think guys love him
too.
And when guys love you, that's all that matters. You don't gotta be perfect. You don't gotta be a rah-rah. If the guys around you know you, because listen, there's Chase Utley's, right? There's other ways. There's other ways
to lead.
Yeah, you don't got to be running up and down the sideline yelling in guys' faces, right? Because guys know you're working. Sometimes the silent worker is just as good as the loud worker.
Yep.
You don't have to have it both ways. I'm a more vocal type leader. That's okay. That doesn't mean that way is the right way, right? That just means that's my style. We don't want a guy to change who you are. Now you got to be a fake vocal kitty. No, or you're going to tell Tom, be a silent leader. I don't know how to do that, coach. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to. Where do I start? Is there a playbook on that? Like, right? So, I think we learn more about guys as it goes on too. But he's not flashy, he's not elite, but he's good. He's good, and he wins, and he's an underdog. Philly, baby. So let's just ride the train. Ride the train to more wins. Ride the train to the damn 1 seed. Let's go. Who's playing Detroit tomorrow? Chicago?
Chicago.
Let's go, Chicago. The Bears.
Upset.
The Bears. See, Culpepper and Cunningham are good, but they're both gigantic. McNabb's the only guy like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, Culpepper was what, 6'5", I think Cunningham was 6'4".
Yeah, they're just different because their size just make them look different. They look the same. I feel like McNair was like 6'4" too. I feel like he was like 6'4".
6'3" or 4". Yeah, he was a big guy too.
Well, Donovan was
6'4".
But Donovan was like 6'1" or 6'2", right?
Yeah, he was 6'2". He's like 6'2", 230-ish when he played.
What's Jalen in at? 6'1", 6 foot?
Yeah, we'll go with 6'1", but
6'1".
Yeah.
What's the size?
215, 220.
Donovan was 6'3". McNair was 6'2".
Oh. Steve looked bigger.
He did look bigger. The shoulder pads were bigger than back in the day.
They were bigger. I can't compare him to him because he had a missile. He had a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
You can't compare him to Air McNair. It's a hard comparison to Air McNair.
I saw Cordell Stewart throw it in there.
Yeah.
Cordell is 6'1". I think Jalen is a better version of Cordell.
Yeah, Jalen's a wide receiver.
I also think that Jalen is a much better passer of the football as well.
Yeah,
he's a lesser version. He's a lesser version of Donovan McNabb, but he works harder. He's a better leader, maybe.
I think he's a better passer than Donovan is.
Maybe. I think Donovan. It's unfair to say because
Donovan was so much of a better decision maker, though. He really wasn't a guy who turned the football over a whole ton. He threw balls at guys' feet, but he didn't throw it to the opposing defenses.
Right.
And maybe on purpose. Who knows?
Who knows?
You never know the full story. But either way, they're very good comps, I feel like. They both threw the deep ball well. Donovan had more arm strength, for sure. And that's the Jalen knock. Right, is the arm strength, but he has enough of it.
But Jalen hits most of his deep throws.
That's what I mean. He might not have a rocket launcher.
He might not have the anticipation that Donovan had.
Right.
And being able to anticipate and throw guys open, but he's got, in terms of deep ball, I think he's got an equally good arm.
Yeah, but when you have the O-line that Jalen has to give him the time to find his receivers downfield, and Donovan had a pretty damn good O-line himself.
And 2 Hall of Famers.
Trey Thomas, John Runyon, and whatnot. But I would say, look at Jalen. He's got a solid O-line. He's got plenty, for the most part, plenty of time in the pocket to look for receivers downfield. And when you have elite receivers like Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, I mean, it makes it easier because they are going to be a little more wide open. They're easier targets to find downfield. And I think overall, with what Jalen has around him and with, when you look at our defense that is playing absolutely elite right now, there's no reason that this team can't make a Super Bowl run.
No, and I don't think Jalen's going to carry you and win games throwing the ball 35 times.
Right.
I'll keep saying it, but when you keep him to 20, 25 attempts,
he
can look way more elite than maybe he is, and that's there. But let's get into this game because this is a big one.
I interrupt this programming for 1 minute.
Yeah, shoot it.
In 26 minutes plus, Ricky Council had a double tonight. So,
yeah, he did.
Back on the Ricky Council needs more minutes train.
Well, now
as we go into the Ravens.
Now he does.
Yeah.
Brought energy. A lot of miscues defensively, though.
Okay.
Didn't want to shoot the ball late in the game for some reason.
Yeah, and which is shocking because he was 5 of 7 and 2 of 3 from 3, so he had a good percentage. And
yeah, It much felt like he wasn't allowed to
Yeah.
to shoot it. But either way, yeah. Needs more playing time. Well, this is going to be a great game, we would think.
It is.
And we need it. We
It
still
might
need it.
it might be a Super Bowl preview.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't think they're as good as they were defensively in the past. Not that they're not good, but I don't think they're as good. I think when you lose a linebacker at a caliber they lost, it just takes you down maybe a notch. They're still good. Right. I just don't know if they're as good as they were last year. But they're still really good. The Ravens, that is, defensively.
Yeah.
So, but offensively, they obviously get better. They got better.
See,
When
they
you add
have,
Derrick
they
Henry.
have not been very good defensively this year. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I
they've
mean. They're
played
not,
a little
right?
better the last game or two, but overall, they're defensively, they've been a very big liability. I think
when you let Patrick Queen go and you lose one of your two linebackers because that was their strength. Their strength was they had, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. So when you're running those two guys out there, you're like, all right, well, our defense is going to be the upper echelon of football because our two linebackers are all over the football field. Yeah. I think when you take one of them off, and I think they lost other guys too, Crum, to the point, but they're not as good as they were previously. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think too, if you look at, I do think this, if they're going to drop one, this is the game that they can lose. Now, you don't want to go out there and obviously if they happen to lose, you don't want to see them get blown out or anything. I don't think they will, but I think this is going to be a battle up front. This could be one of those matchups where they can get to the defense a little bit because their strength. We're built from the secondary now. It's not like the old days where you're built up front. They have guys who can pass rush, but you're more built from the secondary. So a guy like a Derrick Henry, as opposed to years past where our past defensive lines were able to contain him often when they played him, I think you're looking at a different situation now. So that's, if you could figure out a way to contain him and play the run, I think you're in really good shape. But at the same time, Saquon Barkley, right? This is that game. Everybody's talking about Lamar. I personally think if I'm really looking at MVP, it comes down to either Saquon or Josh Allen, just because I look at what they mean to their team compared to, I know Lamar's putting up some really great numbers, but this is your opportunity to go into Baltimore against two guys who have been in the MVP conversation this year and put your stamp on it and say, this shit is mine. If they can come out of a win with this, and Saquon can eclipse 2,000 yards, by the way, I think he's a lock for MVP. But I really expect to see him have a really big game here, a really strong game, and they can run on this defense. Yeah,
I'll say one thing about Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
The one thing about Derrick Henry is I think our rush run defense has been fantastic, right? Because our linebackers play downhill a lot. Our front's been really good. Our tackles have been really good.
They tackle. This defense tackles, finally.
Yeah. And I think they shut him down. I think he rushes for like 60, 70 yards. Where I'm with you. I don't know if Saquon goes for 2, but I think he goes for $150, $140. I think he's in that range this week. And I think we're fast enough defensively to contain Lamar. I really do. I don't know. I think it's a good matchup for us. I hate saying that because they're good. You know what I mean? They're good. I'm not disrespecting Henry or Lamar. I just think this defense is the number one defense in football coming to town. This ain't a joke. We're not. It is what it is. The numbers are what they are. Numbers don't lie. People do.
I absolutely agree that this defense can be had, right? They might be top 5 in rushing defense, right? But they haven't faced a rushing attack like us.
Nobody.
You know what I mean? No one has, right? So, when you add that, you're right, Tommy. Is he getting 2? No, he's not, right? Or I don't know if I can even say that anymore. Emphatic.
I don't know.
I'm not going to guarantee it. I'm not going to guarantee he doesn't get 2.
Yeah, they're good. They're good at rush.
140 is a great day, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. They're going to rush better than teams have in the past against the Ravens, or just like this week, or this year. You look back at their last 5 games. It was the Chargers, Pittsburgh, Cincy, Denver, Cleveland. Which one of those teams have any type of rushing attack? None of them. They're all pass first teams.
Yeah. I just to give you guys a little
Pittsburgh
context.
is abysmal offensively, right? So they don't even have an offense. They just win by their defense.
Just to give you guys a little context on the career that Derrick Henry's had against the Eagles. 2 games, 19 carries, 54 total yards, 2.8 yards per carry. Receiving, 4 receptions, 15 yards, 7.5 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns ever against the Eagles.
Yep, that's why I feel like we're gonna slow him down. I'm going,
including that infamous game that got where AJ got his revenge against Tennessee, and their GM got fired.
Yeah, I remember.
By the way, we as much as we thank the Giants for Saquon, we should continue to start thanking Tennessee for allowing AJ Brown
given.
No, thinking that they were going to draft Traylon Burks to replace AJ Brown.
aged well for them.
Worked out real well.
But I'm going 28. I'm going 28-24 again. That's where I went last week. I'm going to go back. I think I was that, or I might have been 27-24. But either way, I'm going to go 28-24 Eagles. I think we run the ball well again. I think team-wise, we're up over 200 rushing yards. And that's the number I look at. And if we're up over 200, we're going to win a lot of games. And I think passing-wise, we can probably...
350.5.
Plus 350.5?
Yeah.
What is? The rushing?
Line. That's the line.
Oh, plus 3.5.
Plus 3.
Oh, plus 3. Okay.
And then 50.5.
I'm going 26-20 Eagles.
By the way, we're already 13-point favorites against the Panthers next week.
That already? Jeez. All right. Well, listen, what we're getting real quick, we do this every week. Okay. What we're getting is they're number 1 in points. They're number 1 in average yards at rush, rush yards, rush attempts. They're 3rd. Rush average, they're 1st. Pass yards, they're 2nd. Pass attempts, they're 20th, obviously, because they're run 1st. Pass average, they're 2nd. Okay. So offensively, they're really good. But we'll get into our defense in 1 minute. Defensively, rush yards, they're 2nd. Yards, they're 29th. So they can be had on the ground a little bit. But rush yards average, they're 3.5 yards a game. But passing, they're horrendous. All right. Pass average, 24th. Pass yards, 32nd. Okay. Got it. So, like we said last week, looks like a game they might throw the football, right? Well, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Saquon ran all over them. So we could be having that same conversation. You go to the Eagles, right? Defensively, where are we defensively? Okay, well we're 1st in yards a game. So you're talking about the 2 top of the tops coming in, right? Rush yards, we're 2nd. They're 1, we're 2 offensively, and defensively we are the best against the pass average. They were number 1 there. And yards rushing, we're number 1. So, our rush yards are total yards. We're 1 in the NFL. So it's a heavyweight fight. Who prevails? And you always look up front, and our front's been fantastic. So we need it one more time. All right. So I got Eagles 28-24.
26-20 Birds.
Let's go.
26-20, 28-24. I'm going to go 30-27. Birdies.
He's waiting for Baltimore. Which Birds?
No.
Which birds?
Our birds, Eagles, baby.
You just have a look on your face like you were like trying to like.
I think
on us.
I know all the stats are there. I seriously think Baltimore is very overrated.
I agree. I don't think
I'm gonna tell you how overrated the Baltimore is.
Oh my lord.
Buffalo is the best team in the AFC right now. It's not even close. I don't even think it's close.
I'm not gonna lie. The Ravens are good. They're not great. And who knows? I mean, they could pull an upset or two in the playoffs when they get there, and maybe they sneak, or maybe they
don't win the playoffs. What are you talking about?
Huh?
Lamar don't win the playoffs.
I hear you. Had his struggles, and maybe he pulls an upset or two, and maybe they accidentally find their way to the Bourbon Street. But I love our chances on Sunday. I love it so much. Give me a 3-score victory.
Wow.
You heard it here.
Well, there's a couple of reasons that can happen.
Yeah, give me 23. You know what? I may regret this, but whatever. 23-6. We win the game. Yes, we held the Ravens to 6 points. I think it's going to be one of those gigantic defensive efforts, and I think we forced Lamar to cough a few up.
He's the best, though. You're the best because I knew you're not going to say the main reason that it could happen. Like you want to go that route. At least have context on why you're going there.
Why? Because Saquon's going to rip off 200. Damn it!
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they just played their coach's brother's team, and they didn't just play him. They played him on Monday Night Football.
Well, yeah, they're coming off a short week, and they were out on the West Coast.
Well, we were out there too, but that was emotional.
Yeah, but you're talking about 2 back-to-back divisional games too, because that Pittsburgh game was a tough matchup as well.
Yeah, like to that point, Noah, like crazy shit happens in this league, right? And if our defense does that, we're the best. It's not even up for debate. Like people around the whole league.
God, national TV will be jerking on Eagles off all day, all week.
Nick Wright will have another jersey on. That freaking clown.
He's dropping Eagle banners for Eagles.
We're skiing all day. Yeah. We're skiing all day. We hold them under 10 or under. I'm skiing. I don't know what's going on here, but 10 or under, I'm skiing.
I don't know. I think we hold them to single digits.
That's fair.
The Ravens. The Ravens might. They'll put a couple good drives together, and just maybe we pick off a few. I don't know. Give me a Quinyon Mitchell pick 6. Damn it, to seal the deal. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Well, I mean, wouldn't the deal be sealed way before if you got a 3-tutty victory here?
Yeah, middle.
Is that just the cherry on top?
Yeah, it's like put the game on ice. Cherry on top.
I got
cherry on top. Cherry on top of your Sunday. However you want to look at it. Middle of like 8-9 minutes left to go in the game. The Ravens are driving. They're inside the Birds' 10-yard line. Trying to.
We know how interceptions work. We get it.
Yeah.
We all understand how this works.
Mitchell steps in front of a pass and races fucking 92 yards the other way.
92. All right.
Give me a 92-yard pick 6.
The Knights know is off the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So listen, I know you.
Thanksgiving to me.
I will text you guys.
To all of you.
I will text you guys my players of the game because I got to hop off in a minute. But I got to say, and I want to say, Wiz, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I love you all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I love all you guys here on the air. I love you guys in the chat. And I'm thankful you guys in the chat come in every week. Hot, fun, have a good time with us. You give us a hard time. You praise us. You do everything. But you come back every week and you hit the like button. So appreciate you guys. And I love everybody on this show and here on A2D. Secondly, I love Brandon.
We only have 16 likes right now on YouTube, so they're not hitting it over there.
So show us the love and the thankfulness.
It's
Secondly,
fucking egregious.
I have to say it real quick before I get off. Brandon Graham, I hope that he comes back for another year.
Me too,
I
man.
think if they win it or get to a Super Bowl, I think it might be touch and go. But aside from that, I hope he does come back. Watching the video of him talk about it was heartbreaking. But that dude is class personified and has been Philadelphia football for the last 15 and hopefully one more 16 years. So
I think you
completely agree.
just want to say,
I blocked you on Twitter.
He blocked you?
No, I'm just kidding.
I am thankful that we have leadership in our locker room like Brandon Graham and guys like that and guys who represent not just this organization but this city. When we're on here and we're talking about guys like Joel Embiid, who we question their effort, we question their dedication to the organization. You've never had to question Brandon Graham. So shout out to him. Really awful what happened to him. And I hope that he does come back.
Yeah, you hate to see a great player like that. And somebody who helped get our first Super Bowl championship. And
biggest defensive play in organizational history.
No, without a doubt.
No question about it. And another guy of hard work, another guy of not quitting, right? Because he was counted out here. So a lot. But yeah, you hate to see it end.
And last year,
look at this. I've never even seen this color on here before.
Oh,
I love that.
Color highlight heaven. Thanks, brother. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. The thing too with Brandon Graham, last year everyone said he was washed.
Yeah.
And look, Vic Fangio, he comes here and he has, he's not running out there for every down. But in his capacity that he's on the field, he was balling on freaking Sunday night. I mean, he's having a big game. I feel like after the bye week, he has looked rejuvenated. He was having a good season. So again, hope he comes back. And I love all you guys. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there. And I have to jump off. I'm sorry, I got to work.
Later, brother.
Love you guys. Later,
bro.
Happy Thanksgiving, Chrome.
So I'll go offense, defense quick so we can wrap it up, right? Devontae might not play.
Yeah, so he's probably out. He missed practice all week again.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Gotta get him right.
Yeah.
Like that came
but it's a hammy, right? So
yeah, it always goes longer.
Yeah, you err on that side of caution a little bit.
Not being out there is like sort of crazy though. You're not out there at all.
Yeah.
But I'll go Saquon, so I'll go AJ. I'll go AJ for over 100 caught and 2 TDs.
And 2 tutties.
Defensively, I'm gonna go Nolan Smith, 2 sacks and a forced fumble.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he's really come into his own this year.
Playing better for sure.
Oh, no doubt.
Offensively, I will go Jalen Hurts. I will go Jalen. I think this game is where he shines. I know Brian in the chat is very hesitant to believe in Jalen, but I'm going Jalen Hurts as our player of the game. And defensively, I'm going to roll with Jalen Carter. I'm going to roll with Jalen Carter.
One of the best defensive players in football nobody talks about. So,
yeah.
I mean, Milton Williams is second on our team in sacks.
He's been awesome. But he's doing exactly what you hope a guy in that situation does, right? Mm-hmm. Jalen Carter takes the double teams.
Yep.
And Milton Williams is cleaning everything up, right? He's winning his one-on-ones, right? And I love seeing that.
And another reason why we're so good against the run is Carter and Davis.
Yep.
Right. So, and a big reason we're really good against the run is who are you going to double team? Who's eating up blocks there between those two guys?
Mm-hmm.
Because say whatever you want about Jordan Davis, he's a run stopper because
And
he
he's
takes
been really good.
Yeah, because he takes up blocks. It's just as simple
Yep.
as that. Even if he's not making tackles, he's freeing up the Kobe Dean that had 53 of them.
Yes.
Right. And that's the difference. That's the difference. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't see any collapse this year, boys. I think this is going to be a fun ride all the way to the end.
I agree.
Who's your defense? Oh, you went Q as well, right? You went.
Yeah, I think Q finally gets one, man.
Yeah, real quick. Greg, did you go?
Yeah.
Okay. I just can't remember shit now.
Jalen and Jalen.
Oh yeah,
It's
right.
Jalen show.
Yeah, I just totally blacked out, I guess. Thanks for stopping in, Tom. Appreciate you. Thanks
Good to hear.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
It's all right, Tommy. It happens to me a lot.
I mean, it's all right. You thought it's been Friday all day for you.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Right. Greg sent me the title, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, thinking it's Friday. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
What's he doing work? What's he being on top of things for?
I'm like, Greg, I'm not doing a show on Friday. What are you talking about?
Classic.
Drink some coffee. You get 2 kids, Don. Coffee don't do it, babe.
You need the hard shit.
You got to go out in the streets. No, you do not want to do that. You do not want to do that. That is not a recommendation at all.
Not FDA recommended.
No, well, it is, and what I would recommend, and maybe a sponsor one day, Wawa Rechargers are where it's at.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's delicious. They're delicious. And I don't even drink energy drinks really. Like once in a great while I will. But I don't drink them really anymore. I just drink Rechargers all day. Not all day. The most I ever have is 2, but they're good. And I'll mix a coffee in here and there, but a warm coffee don't do it for me, babe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like you let that sit for a minute. Now it's cold. So I'm a cold brewer.
That's a cold brewer. Yeah, you're a cold brewer.
Anyway. But again, I'm not bougie. I just got a Dunkin' around me. And sometimes you get a little too aggressive with the Dunkin', you're shitting all over the place.
Yeah.
So unless you get a Starbucks around you where you're getting high class or going a little more high class, the milk's good.
Yeah, milk ain't gonna back you up.
My bubble gum. Yeah. Good way to raise 2 kids. Yeah. We're not taking nobody to goddamn nursing home. Don, I'm like Cal Ripken, babe. Because ain't nobody show up like I show up. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying. Greg, no. And I've been showing up for a decade.
Hell yeah.
And you know it too. I don't miss. The only time Tom misses is summertime because it's a little slower.
We lasted a lot longer than Chip Kelly did here in Philly.
We're like Andy Reid here. We're like Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Starbucks is so good, guys. And I'm actually upset that there's not one around me. But I mean, I know guys who go and post about it. There's not one down this way. And I got an issue with that. So,
I like the Wawa coffee. You ever have the dark soup? The dark
trees all over the place. What? I don't drink coffee.
Anybody have the dark root Cuban roast or whatever the fuck it's called? It's
Wawa coffee from Wawa.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine.
I slam one down at 2:30 in the morning. I'm good to go.
Yeah, you probably you just probably let the sugar fall in. You take the cap off.
Nah, just one creamer. That's it. Good to go.
No sugar?
Nah. Nope.
That's shocking. I'm with you on the shock there, Tommy.
Yeah, I just feel like
that doesn't vibe.
I can feel like I could see you in Wawa dumping it in. Yeah, I can feel like I can see you with the sugar thing in Wawa.
Sure. Would you like any coffee to go with your sugar?
Yeah, this is amazing. A lot of bad guys in a decade now. A lot of bad guys. No, it's definitely a coffee cat. He's a coffee and like a crumb cake. Yeah, I mean, he's a coffee crumb cake.
Well,
He's got the Edmonds out. He's a coffee crumb caker.
I used to try to grab the lager out of the cooler at 2:30, and we're like, we stopped selling a half hour ago.
Oh, I forgot. You guys actually have that.
Oh yeah.
I don't have that in this neck of the woods.
Yep.
In
They
Jersey,
don't sell beer at your Wawa?
Not in Jersey.
Not in Jersey.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah,
You don't
Jersey's
know that?
stupid.
No,
Jersey's stupid.
Well, I knew Jersey was stupid.
Yeah, we're still talking taxes now. You know what I mean? This is where
I just said Jersey's stupid. I didn't do anything.
No. I just know where this is going. I'm gonna start asking Noah questions.
Yeah.
I'm asking Greg questions.
I could buy a shack in Jersey and still have to pay $20,000 a year in property tax. Jesus Christ.
Wait, more than that, babe.
I wouldn't doubt it.
$6K a month in property taxes.
I wouldn't doubt it.
What do you got? Now we're doing this. What are you paying in property taxes?
You
heard me.
Oh shit, I rent.
Okay.
But I help the landlord cover the property tax. That's for done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that's included in the damn rent.
Yeah, I know you're paying your bills.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's questioning that tonight, right? On Thanksgiving. I'm just saying, you said 20K. I wish it was 20K. 20K, it'd be a lot better than 6K a month.
Wait, you pay 6K a month in property tax alone, or is that
no, all your taxes?
Oh,
your property taxes.
Yeah,
you make me sound like I go crazy. Jersey property taxes are a lot. Your taxes are a lot. You got towns that are 12K. You're in Cherry Hill, you're 12K a month.
Right. Yeah. What, a month or for the year?
Month.
12,000 a month?
No, maybe not 12,000 a month. No, we're wrong here.
What did you buy John Runyon's house?
I was just wondering how I was affording that. You know what I mean? I'm thinking here like shit, how am I doing this?
Wow.
I sound like a big dog. I don't, you know what I mean? People are like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I got 200-inch TV in here. You know what I mean? I'm rolling with the big dog. You're rolling with the big dog.
You got your own home movie theater, bowling alley, billiard hall, you name it.
You guys never had me over?
He's hitting golf shots over his house.
Oh shit.
He's got the 17th green at fucking Pebble Beach in the backyard. Jim Nance is at the tower, right by the pool.
Like I know Florida though, your property tax will be like 2K for the year.
Oh yeah.
Now it's all insurance.
Yeah, now you're gonna hit the insurance. So either way, it evens itself out.
I mean, I rent my house, but if I did own it, I think the property tax would be like 6 or 7K.
Okay, so it's the same. Jersey and PA are the same.
I don't know. I heard it was like 12 to 15K or more.
It depends what county you're in.
Yeah.
It depends what county you're in, right? Like if you're in Camden County, your property taxes are higher. But like when I was in Runnymede, my property tax was $7,500. That's not terrible. Audubon was like 10, 11K. So it's depending on what town you're in.
Right, I got you.
And even though you're in Camden County, you sort of dictates your property taxes. Like where I'm at now, it's lower. There's more land. There's less people.
Right.
Delaware just sucks as nobody wants to say I'm from Delaware. So I ain't trying to move Delaware.
The cost of living's cheaper. I mean, unless you're right around Wilmington, it's probably expensive as shit. But
all right, well, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Phillies another day. We got plenty of time. We'll see if they make any moves. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We love you all.
Only question I have for you:
Thanksgiving.
do you trade Justin Crawford for Garrett Crochet? Is obviously the rumor deal. Do you include Crawford in the Crochet deal?
I don't feel like I should have to. Because I'm giving you an all-star player.
Yeah, they don't feel that way.
Huh?
That's what's their thought, right?
Yeah.
I hear you. I try and get it done without. But if I got it, my thought is if I got to include him, I need Robert back. Crawford and Crochet and Robert for Bohm, Crawford, and whoever else, then I'm in.
Okay.
I just think it evens it out a little bit more because I'm with you. I don't necessarily think that you need to, but obviously if that's their piece,
you might know more about it than I do. Obviously, I haven't. I know a lot of guys in the league, obviously, but that's one name I don't feel like it's well known for me enough.
Well, he plays for the White Sox.
Yeah.
Right.
So how good is he?
He's a stud. He's a stud.
How old is he?
Not very old at all. Let me pull it up. 25 years old.
Is this electric stuff?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm in.
25 years old.
I'm in. Yep, I'm in. The age is all that really mattered to me.
I mean, you go Wheels, Knowles, Crochet, Painter, Sanchez. In theory, is your 5.
I'm hearing a rumor that Ranger might get dealt.
Yep, that's another rumor out there. Is Rangers on the block or is available, right?
Well,
right.
I mean,
I'd hate to say goodbye to him, but I'll tell you what, the second half of last year really worried me. I mean, don't get me wrong, he gutted it out in that playoff start against the Mets, but
he's been hurt too much.
Yeah.
And they kind of told you everything you needed to know when they didn't sign him in season.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? They extended Sanchez, but we all thought that it might come, but it never did.
Right.
And Painter's a missile.
Yeah, and here you go, Tom. Like Crochet 6-12, right? Whatever. 3.58 ERA, but he had 209 strikeouts and a 1.07 WHIP.
He's obviously a righty, I guess.
He's a lefty.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, I'm even more in.
Yeah.
I'm even more in. A dominant lefty. Okay. Well, now I see why they want Crawford, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. But I agree with you then. I'll rather get 2 for 2, or I'll give you 3 for 2.
Yeah, you could take Abel, you could take Caba, right? You could take more prospects. But then if I'm putting in Crawford, then give me Robert back.
And then I'm trading Ranger for just prospects.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my bullpen is whatever. But I need more help back there. Is Estevez back again? Would he be under contract?
No, he's not under contract.
Okay, so they need a closer.
And neither is Hoffman.
So they need a closer.
Yeah, they need help on the back end for sure.
It's going to be an interesting offseason for them
because
they need Soto. I mean, they might break this whole band up in a way. You might see guys go. You might see a lot of moves.
There's interesting
I would move it all. I would move it all because it didn't work.
Yeah.
You had your window with a certain group. Doesn't mean you don't keep your core, obviously, right? I'm not breaking it all up. But I would move on from some guys to try to give myself the flexibility for a Soto and bullpen help.
How about Alec Bohm? Do you think he's coming back?
He's in the Crochet deal.
He'd be in the Crochet deal.
There's it, and we can end whenever we want, right? But there's a bunch of different moves if you don't get Soto that you can make. That obviously they're not Soto, but they fill that void, right?
Well, I need Bregman,
you look at Anthony Santander, right? Switch hitter from Baltimore. You look at potentially seeing what the Astros want for Kyle Tucker, right? Kind of in that same ilk. And then, then you look at Bregman or William Adames to play third.
I start with Bregman. I think I start with
Kyle
Bregman.
Tucker, he's a right fielder, correct?
Yeah.
I start with Bregman.
I'm just nervous about Bregman because of the rumored deal that he wants, 10, 11 years.
Everybody wants a lot of money until they don't.
Yeah.
They don't
So,
get
but
it.
they, Martian, you pipe down over there. Geez, highlight heaven. If Shane McClanahan is available, I'm in. But I don't know that he's available. But they do have a ton of arms. So somebody might be available.
I like Adames. I don't know.
He'd be moving to third, too. You got to remember, he's not going to play short again. Right? Trey's obviously playing short.
I mean, his home run numbers are
he put up 100 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean, Willie Adames is a great name, too. The average, obviously, but in today's game, does it matter, I guess? Yeah. I mean, lose the baseball from the right side. I mean,
that's the key about both Bregman and Adames, right? They're both right-handed hitters.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he walks enough in a lineup that So I agree with you.
He's definitely got big swing and miss stuff for sure.
There's definitely ways to do it without Soto that absolutely can be better, right? Because you do have a lot of holes if you're trading Bohm, right?
Yeah. So it sounds like if you're going after Tucker, you're also looking to move Castellanos, correct?
Well, he's got 2 years left. I mean, he's out there, and rightfully so. That's no knock to Nick,
right?
That he's available. I mean,
it could bring you a little bit of a haul back. I mean,
not really. You're not getting much. I mean, you might include him potentially in the deal if you get Tucker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It might be a throw in, but. Yeah, I think the Tucker deal probably hinges around if the Crochet deal dies and you can dangle them Alec Bohm to replace Bregman at third base. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, that first huge name dropped last night in Blake Snell going back to the Dodgers. That's got everybody up in arms about the salary and deferred money and all that stuff. But hey, just do it, right? Play their game too. Defer the money.
I'll just go for Soto.
Defer it.
I'll pay Soto.
Soto, I'll give you 30 years.
I'll give you $1 billion, right? I'll give you $1 billion right now for Soto. Seriously, I would.
Yeah.
Defer it. And now I can go get relievers. Now I can go get Crochet. I can go do some of the things. Well, Dylan Bohm helps me with that too.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's up.
He's coming up.
He's in arbitration, and I'm going to have to pay him because he's an all-star.
Yeah.
Right? So he's going to demand money. So either way, listen, they're in a good shape. They're a top 5 market. That ain't a big deal.
Martian, I do have hopes of Soto. There's a background that he has with a lot of guys here. So I do hope that comes into play when you talk about Harper, you talk about Turner. But then the biggest one, Tommy, and I know you brought it up a lot, is Kevin Long.
A ton. I brought it up.
He is a Kevin Long guy. So bring in Topper and the whole pitching staff or the whole coaching staff back.
That's his boy.
That's all for Soto.
More than Harper, more than Turner. Kevin Long's his guy.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised. Like seriously, when you can defer money and you can do some things with these kind of big deals, and you go give that guy $700 million, 800 million, give him whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
15-year deal, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he's only 25, 26.
Yeah, go give him a 15-year deal. Go pay him till he's 40. You change his life with $700 million. I mean, he ain't never gonna be broke.
26 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I go pay him whatever he wants. He's a game changer in the middle of your lineup. He walks, he sees pitches, he competes. He competes night in, night out. 162,
41 and 109.
Yep, 162. He is competing at the plate. Yep. He doesn't take ABs off. And they're the kind of guys you need in your lineup. So, but I would bring Ranger back and put him in the pen.
That'd be, yeah.
That's how you sort of fill some pen issues.
Yeah.
And Hoffman's got to be back, so you got to pay him. Now you're not going to have to pay him $1 billion because
he's talking. He's talking. He wants to be a starter again.
He's a moron.
Yeah. He sees what these starters are getting though, and he's like, "Yeah, maybe I could be a starter."
Yeah, dude, you can go get 30 million to be. You can get 30 million to be a reliever. I would just take it and run.
Yeah, come on. I haven't thrown a baseball in 20 years. Where's my tryout?
You set your life up. These guys don't realize you set your life up forever. So
Yeah.
But no, a big off season for the Phillies.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll be talking about them.
Looking forward to seeing what happens.
Absolutely. All right, boys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you guys, your families, everybody in the chat.
Thankful for my family. Thankful for you guys. Thankful for everybody in the chat. Appreciate you all tuning in like you do weekly. Thankful for the Eagles to keep the distraction of the Sixers away. Thankful that the Flyers are competitive and they scratch and they claw because they take the distraction away a little bit. So some good things. We love you all. Enjoy tomorrow. Eat up, sleep up. And, you're probably going to sleep through the 4 o'clock game. But, get yourself ready for 8. 8 o'clock is a good one. So
yeah,
enjoy Turkey Day, everybody tomorrow. Enjoy time with the family. Love you as we see you.